Recently, everybody's asking me why my content looks so good. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. I'm Dennis Barger, 30-year veteran of knowing this guy, 26-year veteran of executive producing his second movie. And I have to tell you, this is talent that I've watched sit and not do enough with his directing skills.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks.
No, I should introduce you, though.
Hi, JDV here. Nice to see you guys.
John Vincent, director of Deadeye and Witch Hunter. I executive produced Witch Hunter, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. And I've been friends with you for a long time. And when I wanted to do content, I saw that you were in between projects, and I said, hey, can I bring you in to do really good quality content for the weird stuff that I do?
And I said, hell no.
And then I said, how much money would it take? And then he said, hell yes.
And now here I am.
But the thing is we've intersected each other's lives and doing different things, and this is kind of culminating. You were doing the content creation that I wanted to do way before. In fact, I've actually guest hosted on a couple of your episodes of Two Drunk Sluts, whatever it is.
That's right, Two Drunk Sluts, and he was the slut. No, I was drunk. Evil Genius Entertainment. It's here on YouTube. We'll have a link down below to it.
Lots of links. There's going to be lots
of
links.
So basically, my content is like horror movies and retro video games, like arcade games, basically. So I do a lot of content on that.
But it's really slick. It's really good looking. And he's always known the technology. He's been one step ahead of the technology curve. When we shot Witch Hunter, I actually sold your 16 millimeter camera for you on eBay because you didn't know the eBay side of it.
I still don't.
And I sold his camera so that he had enough money to buy this fancy new digital camera.
That's right.
And what was that, the Canon XL1?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and it was funny because Fangoria did an episode, did an issue on one of our movies, and the editor, and he was like, your movie made me believe that video was the way of the future.
Right. And nobody was talking
90s,
about this.
Yeah.
Like we were on the cutting edge of using digital cameras to shoot this kind of horror movie level.
That's right.
And then I, with my experience, was able to bring you Gunnar Hansen and Gloria Ann Gilbert to be kind of like the stars of your indie film.
Yeah, and Gunnar was great too. There's a documentary out that came out last year, something all about Gunnar Hansen. I'm in it for just a couple of seconds.
If you don't know who Gunnar Hansen is, it's the original Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And he was a good friend of mine. And he agreed to do the movie for free as long as we took care of him while he was there.
And he was a great guy.
So, like I said, you and I were able to.
A long time,
Right. I was able to sell your old camera for top dollar so you could afford to buy this new fancy camera for this new project. I agreed to executive produce it and bring in some of my friends. And then you kind of flew off with that. You did a couple movies after that. But then I was always able to help you out with one little thing or another. Like I gave you the set for the movie theater. You used the movie theater.
Yeah, so we do a zombie series called Reanimated, and we use some of his warehouse, I guess your main warehouse.
Yeah, it's the main warehouse.
For like zombie hordes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
and you shot that one footage in the back where we burned a truck or something.
Yeah, that was for the zombie show.
Yeah. But the point was he and I have been working together for 30 years pretty much, and in that time, I've been able to give him this content work in between his projects, and he's been able to bring me the slickest stuff that anybody at my level could ever expect. And it's all because he's always ahead of it with the technology.
Yeah, so a couple of you guys have been asking what we use to shoot on. Basically, I use Micro Four Thirds system. I use Panasonic primarily. I use, here, let me show you. This big boy here is normally the lens we use. This is kind of the best lens that you can get for Micro Four Thirds. It's the 10 to 25. If you're a camera nerd, you know about this lens. Great lens. Pricey, like $1,800. Yeah, which is kind of crapped out on me today, but I have a backup lens here. Great thing about Micro Four Thirds is you can strap almost any lens ever made onto it, except for Panasonic's own L mount, which has always struck me as someone didn't quite understand a vertical integration on that one, right?
Hey, you know, I could sort Legos over there and tell you what the Legos are.
I can't do that though. I can tell you all about cameras. So I use the GH7, but you can use GH5, GH6. I mean, you can use really any kind of camera. When you're shooting kind of stuff like this, really, I'm trying to make it as dynamic as I can, you know, in terms of moving the camera when it's feasible.
Unfortunately, the director's sitting right here, and he ain't moving the camera right over there.
There won't be a whole lot of camera movement now. But I try to light it as best I can under the circumstances. Like, this is a darker store. Like, this is probably the darkest store you have.
Yeah, it is. It is. But the thing was, it was like the atmosphere for this. I wanted it to be kind of that retro.
We're old and records are old.
Right. but that's why we're shooting over here.
Right.
But also, you can somehow, with just the different lighting techniques that you've done, just lighting me, make it look way better than it actually is in the store.
Well, that's movie training, I guess, basically.
But that's what I'm saying is when I brought you in, I just expect you to turn a camera on. But then all of a sudden, you guys in the chat, you guys were like, wow, that looks really good. And then I would look at it and I'm like, wow, actually, I look really good in that.
So basically, if you know anything about cameras, just the lower the f-stop it is, the shallower depth of field there be. So, like, better chance of your talent being in focus and the background blur.
Talent? Talent?
Oh, no.
You heard him. He said it. Talent.
The personages that you might be filming, even if it's yourself. So if you can get a lower f-stop on whatever camera system it is, like this guy's like a 1.7, right? The lens we're shooting on now is a 2.8. The advantage of having
2.8, 2.9, whatever it
f-stop,
takes.
yeah, whatever it is. The advantage to shooting those lower f-stops is you get that nice background blur. But if you're trying to do like a walk and talk, you probably want a higher f-stop, like a 2.8, 3.4, or something like that, just so a little bit more is in focus, so you have a little bit more wiggle room.
You know, one of the things, though, when we were shooting a video probably like 2 weeks ago, somebody's comment on the episode was, you know what I really like looking at is all the stuff in the background,
Yeah.
and you really hit it.
Too.
Yeah, and the thing is that whatever the f-stop, like I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, the people can see the stuff in the background, and that becomes part of the content.
Right. So if you shoot full frame and you shoot really low f-stop, everything is going to be completely blurry behind the subject matter. And you don't necessarily want that. That's kind of getting phased out a little bit now, where you have the hyper thin depth of field. So if you move back or forward, then you're out of focus. It helps to have a little bit where you can actually see, particularly a show like this, where it's a lot about merchandise. You want to be able to see the merchandise.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. Tell us some directors who are shooting 100% on digital like you.
Everybody. Except Tarantino, Spielberg, although he might be retiring. I think pretty much everybody except maybe Nolan, Spielberg, Tarantino.
Okay, so the big guys that are using the biggest cameras, the oldest cameras, because of the way they love to shoot, but everybody has moved to digital, and literally you were one of the first ones to do it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And now you're taking this, I mean, everybody on YouTube is using a digital camera in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
But you somehow make our content, the content you're creating for me, look better than everybody else on YouTube.
That's why, though, is because I try to bring the movie stuff to it. You know?
Right.
Have motivated movement, have depth of field that is selective and that you're using to your best benefit. If that's to show this or to show his ugly mug, whatever, recognize when you do have poor lighting, be willing to jack up the gain and alter the shutter speed, whatever it takes to get the shot.
Where should they start? What's the next thing to add to it? You know, give them the skill list of what you can do at your level.
I think any camera that's come out in the last 2 or 3 years from any of the main manufacturers is going to be good. That's Panasonic, that's Sony, Canon, Nikon. Any one of those is going to be good. So if you have some lenses already, or if you're familiar with one system or whatever, I've used all of them. I just tend to stick with Panasonic because they give you the most gizmos, like anamorphic and a whole bunch of other stuff that you don't necessarily need to know about.
So start with the camera, up your video quality.
Right. So get a good a good camera has a decent sized chip, like basically micro four thirds all the way up to full frame. Then if you're the on-camera talent, then be sure that you get something that autofocus as well. So that's probably not Fuji, even though Fuji does make a great image. You probably do want to stick with Canon, Sony, or Panasonic because all three of those do great autofocus at this point. Then get yourself a good mic. Rodes are great.
How much do these cost?
I think this is 150 for these.
For two?
For
or
this
one?
set, because remember, it comes with a charger and everything like that.
Okay, so 150 is not bad for a microphone.
No, and it's probably come down since I bought it. But you can get into some pretty, like the microphone we normally use on him is a Sony. It was like $14 when I bought it, but I think it's up to $35. But still, it's a pretty good lavalier.
Well, and I see all these people doing man on the street stuff with YouTube, and they're holding that fuzzy microphone and they're doing this. This is so much better. I hate it when I see that.
Get yourself a good mic. Make sure that it's going to work. If it's just you, then you can get away with having just one long mic cord or do a wireless pack. Get a good basic zoom lens for whatever that system is.
Tell us about this light, though.
All right, that's just a simple rechargeable RGB light. Again, that was like 25 bucks. I got a couple of new lights from a company called Newer.
Well, I mean, like I said,
great.
You're wearing glasses. I see all the people doing content creation, and every time they look at the camera, you can see that stupid ring. Yeah. You know, that ring light. And I'm like, and that thing costs like 50 bucks. Yeah, and this is so much better. And even when I have to put my glasses on for one of the shots, you don't see like that huge ring light.
Well, sometimes the best lighting of all is just a big whiteboard. We use whiteboards all the time.
Yeah.
Just, they're comic book boxes.
40 watt light bulbs sitting above us here.
Right, and it's still kind of dark. So it depends on what situation you're using. If you shoot outside all the time, you can get away with having a cheaper lens that's slower. That we shoot at a higher f-stop because you'll probably have to. If you're inside a little studio or a comic book store, you're probably going to need some more lights or a faster lens just because it's going to be darker than you would be normally.
So let's sum it up for the amateurs out there that want to get to the next level that we're doing right now. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making content. Just get your 10,000 hours in. Second, upgrade to a better camera when you can afford it. He told you what kind of cameras he's using. The camera is absolutely important to this scenario.
But so's the lens. Don't forget about the lens.
And then the lens.
Yeah.
Add a lens. Start being able to play with that. You try it with different lenses, etc. Then get yourself up to the audio, which costs you next to nothing because you've just put in $1,000 to a camera and $500 for a lens. Now, what's $150 for a really good audio?
Right.
And then get yourself some good lighting. Like you said, $25 for this RGBTQ, whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's it. Build it little by little, but keep making the content, and that's when it gets more kind of worked in, and it just becomes more natural. And
the more you use it, the more you'll know. Like I have owned probably 40 different lenses. I've owned dozen cameras. I mean, finally I've come up to I like this camera. I like these lenses, and yes, I can use these other ones, but these are the ones that I like. These are the ones that fit my lifestyle, or however you want to say it. And you'll find the same thing. Don't be afraid to, experiment.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, you got any other questions? Just let me know in the description. I'll try to help you out.
You put it in the description. If we hear it enough, we will shoot a video letting you know, because that's all we are here to do. And I got to do my catchphrase: celebrating the past and living for the future.